them hands together for Josh Johnson.
I've been watching the Olympics, and I've been enjoying myself because it has exposed me to a bunch of sports I don't normally watch, right? Like, I watched a lot of women's rugby, right? I had never, it just came on while I was, while I was sitting there, and then I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. Now I don't really know the rules to rugby, right? All I know is if you get tackled, you're supposed to throw the ball like back when you pass it so then they can try to get further than you got and everything. And there was this one woman who was running with the ball, and a woman from another team went to tackle her, right? And rather than falling like gravity would dictate, she just picked up the woman tackling her and ran with her and the ball. And I was like, I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play. I don't know the rules, but is that legal? Can you do that? No. And then there was the guy. I didn't know shooting was part of the Olympics. But there was this dude that showed up that really looked like he wasn't in the sport, because everybody else had, like, I don't know if y'all read comic books, but everybody else had like dead shot gear on, like just they adjusted it and then lean in and then they lean back and stuff, and then they take the shot and stuff. And this dude was just walking up, no expression. Boom, boom, silver medal. Imagine how mad you would be if you went ahead and you got all the gear, you got all the glasses, the goggles that tilt and stuff, the little binocular thing with the red dot sight in it and everything, and then you still watching him over here just boom, boom, silver medal. That's a dangerous one to just be so good at off of talent, because then your competitors are like, we're going to have to shoot them. We're going to have to, one of us has to do it, right? One of us I'll bump into you while it's your turn. You just be like, oops. And then you had, you had Team USA in the men's basketball winning gold today. Just through and through. You had LeBron and Curry just serving up moments, right? Just little leans back, boom, draining it, everything, killing it like we're supposed to, because basketball, that's our thing. We should be killing them. In basketball, I don't even want the games to be close. It's exciting when they're close, because then you pull it out and then you're like, yeah, I was so annoying. I was a real, like, an American as a stereotype when Team USA men's basketball was playing. I was like, yeah, get up. Yeah, like I'm on the team. Like I'm one of the coaches. Just, get up. But because we did so well in the men's basketball, it makes it even more perplexing that we did so poorly in the men's 3-on-3 basketball. How did, there's so much talent. The literal NBA is here. I understand everybody can't be on Team USA, and I don't know if it's a pride thing, like maybe you just don't want to be on the 3-on-3 if you're not in like the proper Team USA, but that's a shorter, that's half court. You just run back and forth. That's an easier path to a gold medal, and they just didn't want it. There's not an NBA player on the team, to my knowledge. It's just 3 dudes that I think are my age. Like, just, that shouldn't even be allowed. That's very frustrating to watch us play and struggle at basketball. I don't care if it's 3-on-3. I don't care if it's 1-on-1. We should be dominating. Do you know what it's like to sit there as an American and watch the men's 3-on-3 basketball team struggle against Latvia. You couldn't have pulled 3 superstars or something. I gotta sit here, we getting dunked on. This is gonna be the most out of pocket that I speak the entire show, but I was watching it furious. I really was, because as an American, you sit there watching yourself get beat by a country whose GDP doesn't match Texas. And it make you, like, you sitting there watching us just slowly lose and stuff, and it make you want to go to war. You want to, a part of you's like, let's pay them a visit then, if they think they so cute. We've started wars for less. Come on. Don't worry, we didn't put it in the history book. Oh, no, I'm just saying. Like, this is my thing. Even when a game is over, whether you're watching an NBA game, an NCAA game, or just, you know, like some footage from a documentary where, you know, they're doing some exhibition game or something. When you go up to a professional basketball player, you go up to these professional athletes, and you see these sports journalists run up to them with the mic. How do you feel like the game went? And they put the mic in their face, and then they're just standing there sweating because they just got done playing the game, but they're like, we did some passing, and we did a little bit of shooting. We should have done more shooting than passing, but we did as much. They always sound like they're failing a pop quiz about basketball when they get asked the questions about the game they just had. You were there. Why are you umming? And then we plan to do a little bit more dribbling next time, and then we're gonna dribble, and then we're gonna pass, and then we'll shoot, and we'll get more of those in next time, and then that will result in more points, and then we will have more points than the other team when we get done. So the result today won't be the result tomorrow, right? And that's all well and good, because they're standing there, and even though they're pouring sweat and they're breathing hard, they're standing up straight, and they just got done playing at the highest level, okay? What I don't like is things like what I might even be wrong. Maybe this isn't the interview I saw, but I could have sworn that after one of the members of the team on 3-on-3 was asked some questions after, and in my opinion, I know I'm not playing and he is, but he looked a little too tired for my liking, right? I'm not gonna let you be tired and lose, right? Like that's unacceptable, you know what I mean? Like he up there getting interviewed looking like me, like just like yeah, they were good. They were pretty good. No, if you're gonna represent me in the Olympics, right? I need you to play better than I can play. If you're gonna represent me in the Olympics, I need you to be a LeBron, a Curry. Make me believe in myself, right? Don't just have me sitting there watching the TV like, that's what I do. Like, I could've. They had breakdancing for the first time ever. All right. Look. So they had breakdancing as an Olympic event for the first time. Which, here's the thing. We do need to take a step back for a second and go back to the invention of breakdancing. Breakdancing is something that comes truly from like nothing. Just kids and a piece of cardboard on the pavement and imagination, right? And it created an entire genre of dance that splintered off and made other genres of dance sense. So I think that it's an incredible thing that you have to take stock of, that something that just started with a few people has become this thing that's blown up around the world to the point where it makes it to the Olympics, to the world stage, right? But I was watching and I was like, maybe we need to keep some things a secret, right? Like maybe we don't have to tell everybody some of the stuff that we do, you know what I mean? Because I want to be clear here. There were plenty of very good breakdancers, all right? But a lot of them were overshadowed by people whose movement was questionable, all right? You know, because there were a couple people where you see them dancing and you're like, to call it a routine feels like you planned this, and I don't think you did. I think you're making it up as you go. I think that you woke up and you were like, oh, today? Like, I think that's the way you dancing right now. It's not the dance of someone who prepared. Like, there was an Australian dancer. Okay, look. She was dancing, and I'm not gonna act like I know how to break dance. I'm also not gonna act like I have great movement myself. Most of my stories are when I could have had better joints, all right? So I'm not trying to act like, oh, I knew it or whatever, but I will say, as soon as I saw her, and she was dressed like she was from Squid Game, that's when I was like, I don't know if you're taking this serious. I don't know what's about to happen right now. And okay, so she starts dancing. So she started dancing, and they had interviewed her before the Olympics, right? Before she ever went to Paris. And I think they interviewed her after her performance. And I think both times she said that all of her moves she invented, right? Which I believe. I do believe that. I think that that's true. That's just a fact. And she's dancing, and like, when you're watching it, okay, there are some traditional moves that you see in breakdancing. A lot of them are like moves that lead to spins, right? So someone will just have their hand on the ground, but then they'll be going up with their leg, and it's all to build the momentum to twist and then to spin on their head or to spin on their hands or something. And she kept almost doing it. Like, there were plenty of times where she was like, I was like, she about to go, and then, do you know what I mean? Like, she would stay on the ground in a way that wasn't satisfying, right? Because even in breakdancing, sometimes you just see straight up backflips, right? And there was a backflip she did, but she did stay on the ground the whole time. Like, it was a backflip, but like she maintained contact with the ground at all points. And as I was watching it, I'm like, look, I'm also coming to this as someone who's watched a lot of breakdancing but doesn't know what the rules are for the Olympics. Maybe you're just supposed to hit poses, and she's hitting the poses and she's racking up poses. I have no idea. So I'm watching, and I'm watching for the judges. I'm watching for the crowd, right? And there was one dude that I like really zeroed in on. It was a black dude with some dreads. And he was doing the thing that as black people we do. Right? When someone is doing their best, and when someone is like trying to participate, right? I don't care where you are. We give people a chance. We really do. whether it's somebody who's trying to rap real quick, whether it's somebody beatboxing, somebody dancing. As black people, you can see it in videos around the world. We always give 2 free nods, right? We always give 2 free initial nods because you're getting into it. We don't know what you're about to do. You might surprise us, right? So there's 2 free nods that everybody gets, no matter who you are. And there was a guy in the background when she started, and she was really doing the, you know what I mean? Like she looked like she was about to get ready, right? And there was a black dude in the background that was like, you know, because that third nod, you gotta be careful. That third nod is a cosign, right? Like that third nod means I love what I'm seeing, right? And he pulled out just before. There are moves that are staples of breakdancing. Like one of them, I mean, I can't do it, but one of them is when a dancer puts their hand on the ground and then they put their full weight on their elbow and they either do a pose or they spin. You see that a lot. You see that on any breakdancing that you watch on Instagram, TikTok, any of that. It's like a real staple move. And at one point she went to do it, right? But as far as like being on the elbow, she was like, I got something different for y'all. I'm gonna switch it up real quick, right? And so instead of posting up on her elbow, she just kind of laid on it, right? And even when I saw her land, I was like, she getting ready to do something. She getting ready. Y'all give her space, She getting ready, right? And then she spun, but she did it on her own time. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a fast spin or a flying spin. It was more like, we gonna get there, right? Like we gonna get there eventually, okay? I was truly taken aback. I was like, what is happening? You know? Because as a country, you have to pick a representative, right? You can't just be like, hey, as far as the I'll go. I'll take the flight. There was a competition, and you have to qualify to make it to the Olympics, which made me wonder, who did she beat to... You know what I mean? Like, everybody clowning her and everything, but she's the best. Do you know what I mean? She getting a lot of extra undeserved hate because she won her place to get here, right? So then I want to know what happened at the competition to compete with the judges were like, we can't send you. It's all you. This is rough. That's rough stuff. Because this is, to be fair, she did get a lot of hate for this, and just in case anybody doesn't understand, to be fair, a lot of the spirit of breakdance is competition, right? It's usually 1 or 2, people hopping in and out of the general circle where we're all watching. Sometimes it could be 3, 4, right? And one of the things that I watched happen in the men's, like it was, I think, the US versus Japan, right? Is that even though they were in competition, when the other person was in the circle, like doing moves, because Japan and the US were killing it, right? Like lots of spins, lots of like fun stuff, cool stuff I hadn't seen before. And anytime the other person was in, their opponent would still be like, oh, because it's a sport of energy, right? It's a sport of fun, right? And when she started, her opponent was kind of like, okay, all right, okay. Yeah, I get it. And after a while, her opponent just sort of started walking. You know, and then when she wasn't, this was kind of wild. It is part of it. So like, you can't hate on her for it because it's a thing that happens when people are breakdancing compete against each other. But then her opponent was in there doing real moves. Because when I tell you she made up her own moves, she straight up, like. I've never. Never in my life. She did the opposite of a Michael Jackson. She did. Oh man, Mike is moonwalking in his grave right now. But while her opponent was in there, you know, doing the real moves, she was walking back and forth and was going. Oh God, okay, all right. And so she danced, and the judges awarded her 0 points, and I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know. I thought you got at least a point for limbs, like. Also, oof. France has had some ups and downs, right? That poor pole vaulter. If you didn't see it, okay, basically, pole vaulting is a sport where you run up with a stick and then you put it into, like, what I'm assuming is the vault, right? And you stick it in there, and then you keep going, even though it's stuck in there and it bends, and then you ride it up the top and it lifts you. It looks like it shouldn't work. Every time I've watched pole vaulting, I'm like, how do they not snap off and fly off into another direction? Pole vaulting is physics, but it looks like it's against it, right? Like, I think that's why it's a sport, because every time you watch it, you're just mystified. You're like, how did he plan it to go that? It could have gone anywhere. And so, you know, you stick it in, and you bend and you fly up, and then there's a stick that you try to get over. And so you throw your body over the stick, and then you land and somehow live, right? Because that's the other thing about pole vaulting that I don't understand, is how no one dies every time, right? And so anyway, there's a French pole vaulter that was running with the stick, stuck it in, went backwards, and he's lifting up. And then when he gets about parallel with the bar, we notice on camera a different stick, right? Because there's always supposed to be 2 sticks. There's always the stick you gotta get over, and then you stick the U's to get over. But there was a 3rd stick at play that nobody could have foreseen, right? Because I don't know if this has ever happened in the history of people running up with a stick and sticking it in the thing and then going over. But he gets about level, and then, you know, if you knock over the stick, you're disqualified from that heat, right? Not that you can't go again. I just mean, like, you didn't do it if you knock over the pole you're supposed to get over. And he knocked it over. He knocked it over with his stick, his pole, his vault of sorts was what lifted that stick off, and then you see them, and they are connected. There were some people that were saying actually his knee is what knocked it over, and I'm like, maybe it goes to his knee, but I saw what I saw. And so, you know, he didn't win a medal. But he won something else. Because we're all talking about it, and we're talking about it favorably. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even a knock on him as an athlete. I'm sure it's more impressive that he gets over sometimes with the stick he has to watch out for. He did his best, and he did not come up short, all right? No. And I know he won the medal, but he got something even greater. He got everybody knowing that he had a big penis without him saying it. You know what I mean? Like, when you're a man and you have a big penis, it's something you got to keep secret that you just want to tell everybody. You know what I mean? Context. You just want to let the people know, right? I'm surprised more men don't just go, oops. I can't believe what just happened. Oh no, I knocked over a glass of water. How did I do it? Speaking of honeymoons ending, this Jonathan Majors. Wow. There's so much about it, so you just be patient with me. I've been waiting to even talk about it because I wanted to learn as much as I could. I'm still missing stuff. Admittedly, I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to get this right. There's so much media around it. I don't even mean coverage. I mean actual there's a tape of him being recorded. There's CCTV of them. There's a lot going. There's body cam footage. There's a lot to distill. I felt like I was part of the jury. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, how do I stay impartial? All of this looks so bad. You know what I mean? Like, you take the CCTV alone. We don't know what happened in the car, but apparently in the car is when she scratched up his face, and it's when he hurt her finger. All we see is CCTV of him getting out the car and then her trying to get out the car, right? Because in this moment, she's discovered that he's cheating. All right? So now he's trying to get out of the car. She's trying to get out of the car. He picks her up and puts her back in the car like a toddler, right? Like, he just sort of lifts her up and is like, there, right? And then this man took off. He ran. He ran like it was the full caution sign. That's the last time I've seen somebody have a foot that high and a head that forward. And my man was over here like, huh, like he just fully running. And that's how you can tell he cheated too, because he running like a cheater. He running like, no, I gotta get out of here. I can't be here right now. She saw a text message, you know? And then she took off and she ran after him. And she caught up. And that shocked me. She caught up. This nigga trained for Creed 3, and she caught up in heels like it was nothing. That's crazy. I didn't know getting cheated on gave you superpowers, because this dude is booking it, and she right behind him, clickety-clacking it in those heels, trying to get that phone, right? And so then you just see another CCTV angle and you see him running the other way. And this time it's scarier because this time she not running. This time she's stalking him like Jason. Just. And she a little drunk too, so she looked like she gonna fall. I'm like, he really didn't need to run anymore, but clearly he did. She still caught up to him. This man ran his knees off and she just over here. And then they run into like 3 random people. And then she did the thing that I think a lot of people do when they're in like the midst of like, maybe they're a little drunk. They just found out they got cheated on or something's going on in their relationship or something. So she meets these 3 people who don't know them, who do not, I cannot stress that enough, who do not seem to know them at all. And she's like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna hang out with my new friends. And then she just becomes these 3 people's problem. And then John Majors seemed to walk off, right? Seemed to just walk off into the night. So it's like that, take that video alone, right? It's hard to decide how you feel about that. Because in my mind, I'm just being honest, right? Just hear me out. In my mind, I don't know what else he should have done. Because everything he should have done happened before that night. He shouldn't have cheated. If he didn't cheat, maybe none of this would have happened. But he cheated. I'm saying in the night in question, in this moment, he runs. He's out of cardio. Like this is like she clearly should have played Apollo Creed. If she tuckered him out that easy, then you go to the next day. Because the next day is when he finds her in the closet. Yeah, this dude comes home and he finds her in the closet. And look, Jonathan Majors is too big and black to find any white woman. That's astounding. The fact that because now he's the one that called the cops. To my understanding, he's the one that called cops being like, hey, that's the only time I've seen someone call the cops and you can hear it in his voice where he's like, I'm gonna need you to sit down. Before you send anybody, I need you to hear the full sentences I'm saying. Because this is gonna look bad, right? And then the cops come and then they lift her up and everything, and someone can correct me, I don't know what happened in this particular part. It seems like she came home and she was like maybe changing or whatever and then fell asleep in the closet because it's like a walk-in closet. I don't really know what happened there. But then you hear Jonathan talk about it in an interview that he shouldn't have done. This interview was a bad idea. I'm not saying I would have any good ideas if I was him, but I'm just saying this interview was pretty bad because they ask him, how she sustained those injuries to her finger and all stuff like that. And then Jonathan Majors says, I wish to God I knew. Nigga, you were there. Like, I know you don't think you did it, but like, whatever. So then in the interview, they're cutting between his interview and then pieces about him. They're using scenes from him in movies. And then they use a recording where he is arguing with her, right? And this is a big thing for me. This is a huge thing. And I hope it doesn't spill out into the rest of the world because a lot of celebrities do it. And I pray that we don't get to the point where we're doing it. If you need to secretly record anyone you were dating, break up with them. Please. Because this is my thing. Say what you want about her, say what you want about him. They clearly had a toxic dynamic. They had a bad dynamic from what seems like the start, right? And so for her to be recording him secretly means that she knows something's up with him. So leave, leave. And I'm not saying leave as if it's easy. I'm not saying leave as in you should just always feel safe to leave. I'm just saying you need to start coming up with an exit strategy because then the recording is one of the worst recordings it feels like right out of Law and Order, the recording. The recording is so damn bad. Okay, so basically, I don't really know the context of the recording. It sounds like from the recording that she came home drunk or she was acting up drunk or something like that, which apparently in their dynamic she had been known to do, right? So there's some, I don't even know if this is true, that maybe this is hearsay, but there was some instance where out of nowhere, one of the reasons a lot of people told him to break up with her is that she was drunk at a party one time. They had some sort of argument and she hauled off and slapped him in front of everybody, right? In front of everybody at the party, just, and like a real like, ha! Like telegraphed the whole shit. I couldn't believe he got hit. I was like, all that Creed 3 and you don't know how to box? You over here just eating shots? That's crazy. That's boxing 101. Somebody does this, you do this. I'm not even a fighter and I know that. I'm just saying, like she, whatever. I don't know what actually happened. All I know is the recording starts with him being like, listen, I'm doing a lot right now. I'm doing a lot for my people. I'm doing a lot for the culture. I am a great man. Give me a second. I think I can honestly say in a lot of relationships I've watched, especially like just straight relationships, there is a point where a guy feels, not even saying it's right, underappreciated for being maybe even a good boyfriend or good husband, right? And they will say something to try to stick up for how they feel in the moment. They'll be like, look, I'm a great guy. Most guys aren't like me out there. You know, they'll say something to try to save it. And in the moment, it always doesn't, it never sounds the way it's like in your head, it sounds like it's evening the playing field. Like in your head, you're like, I can't believe you're coming down on me so hard. I'm a good boyfriend. I'm a great boyfriend. You know that? I'm such a good boyfriend. Your friends say I'm a great boyfriend to you when they don't think I can hear it, and I hear it, and I take that to the moon, and I'm using it now. That's what it sounds like in our head. What it sounds like out loud when you're in the middle of an argument is, I'm a great man. The fact that he actually said, I am a great man. And look, I don't know what it's like to date either one of them. I'm just going off of what we've seen and what I've seen that has happened, right? I don't know what it's like to date either one. I'm just saying, I can see how you're in the moment and you really think you're cooking. But it should be a sign to you that the person that you're like just going off on is saying nothing. And look, if I'm being honest with you, when I listen to that recording, I do think it's a little bit of a setup because she says nothing, right? And you can tell she a little drunk too, because the only thing you can hear is like him being like, I'm a great man, and her be like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like if you listen real close, you can hear a couple hiccups. I'm not saying that gives him the right to be over here. I'm a great man, you know, like. And look, to be fair, maybe she was just recording him because he kept telling her to be like Coretta, and she had no fucking idea what that meant. She's like, I'm a white woman that was born in the UK. I don't know how to connect these two things. Be more like Coretta. And then in the interview, he's like, look, when I said that, I wasn't comparing myself to Dr. King. I was just trying to say that these are the people I aspire to be. And so if I'm gonna get there, I need someone like her to help me get there. And I'm like, all right, but you did say Coretta. Like, you know what I mean? It'd be different if he was just like, I need you to do better. I need you to do better sounds, outside looking in, sounds completely fair. I need you to do better. I need you to do better than getting drunk at functions that I'm with that I'm trying to network. I need you to do better than slapping me in my face in front of a bunch of people. I just need you to do better. There's a huge amount of middle ground. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it would be like my girlfriend being like, listen, you do not help enough around the house. I get that you tour, I get that you have shows at night, but I need your help around the house, all right? So when you're about to go, just take the trash out with you. That's a simple thing that you can do. Just take the trash out with you. Just do a little better. She didn't say, I need you to be Malcolm X. Do you see the difference? It's also just, I don't know, that the thing that really bothers me about Jonathan Majors is that he didn't make it. He made it. All this happened after he made it. And it's so hard. And like even take away for a second being a black actor. Take away for a second where he comes from. It's hard in general. This is like the NFL of drama. And he made it. And then this happens, you know? And he has nobody to blame but himself. Just like it's a lesson to all of us. If there's something that you want more than anything else, you cannot let other things get in the way of that thing, especially when they don't bring you anything good, you know? And some people made it purely about race. I don't think that Jonathan Majors is a lesson that you need to date within your own race. I think he's a lesson you need to date within your own weight class, because the optics are terrible. Jonathan Majors is 34 years old. Jonathan Majors is 34. That blew my mind. He's 34. We're closer in age than I ever thought. He's 34. And he doesn't look 34. That man looked 46 from 1958. Every time I see Jonathan Majors, I'm like, he should be in sepia tone. And people, and look, I want to be clear for a second. A lot of people had a weird, and I'm talking about outside of all this stuff before any of it ever happened. A lot of people had a weird hate for him that I didn't understand, and they went out of their way to call him ugly, and they went out of their way to just like go with his features and stuff like that. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying he does look like a time traveler, all right? Like if he told me he knew Dr. King personally and that he had a time machine, I'd be like, no wonder you want everybody to be like a Coretta. You know her so well. Did everybody have a good 4th of July? Yeah, I did decent. It was a fine time, you know. But like 4th of July there's two groups in America that are very conflicted with 4th of July, and it's black people and dogs. Like both of us, just the whole day we don't know how to feel. The whole day is fucked up. And I'm a black dude with a dog, so I was looking at my dog all day like I know, like it's. Both of us just got to watch white people have the best day of their lives. And it's just like, oh, God, okay.
And the dogs don't know how I feel about 4th of July because there's a barbecue, but also there's fireworks. So you might get some good scraps, but what is going on up there? Like, every dog is British on 4th of July. Every dog is like, what the fuck are they doing? You know? And it's tough for me because it's like when you know, I don't know. It's like the day of my country's independence, but not mine. Isn't that weird? It's like you can't even really, because they don't really teach about it, but like black people fought in the American Revolution. Like black people fought for the country to be free. And then we were like, yeah, we're free. And then somebody was like, what do you mean we? You know? I know. It must be hard to hear.
Keep telling them. Keep telling them.
Appreciate you. Keep telling them like you're black too. That's the funny. You're my favorite. I love you so much. Thank you for that. Keep fucking get they ass.
I only know what it's like to be me. The hardest life you're ever gonna have to live is your own. So I don't know what it's like to date as anybody else, and I can't judge. I'm not even gonna try to project. I will say, just being me, it's been hard enough. So a woman dating men is an unenviable position. I can't even imagine what that's like, you know, because men be out here killing. That's look. When it comes to dating, everyone, don't let the podcast fool you. Don't let your friends get in your ear. Everyone is doing everything. Men and women both cheat. Men and women both manipulate. It's all, there's no like one-sided thing except the killing is us. That we be doing that shit for real. That's like, even if women wanted to catch up, it would take till 22 to really match our numbers. We out here crazy as fuck, killing. This wild. And so I can't imagine what it's like to then be a woman trying to date men and find somebody that you vibe with that also doesn't kill. Because remember, when they catch these killers, everybody talking about how nice and polite they were. They were, outside the killing, they were some good men. You know what I mean? So now you a woman out here trying to find a man that's like, you know, nice, treats you well, not dangerous, but a little dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, you a little bit of that, like. That's my favorite. I don't know why, but anytime I've been like about to hook up with somebody and they put my hand on their throat for me, I'm like, oh, you think I'm a bitch out there? That's crazy. That's wild. You feel so safe with me. You put my hand on your throat. That's almost insulting. That's a little like, let me do what I was gonna do and then we figure out if, you know, like, don't just be like, let me help. Like, that's so insulting. It's crazy. And then another part of me very much likes it because you're helping me help you. Like, it's like, that does low key, I'm insulted, but it does feel like a cheat code where I'm like, oh, and then this? Like, it's, you know, but it is I cannot imagine. It really is tough because then you know, how do I put it? I'm not trying to be like, oh, poor men or whatever, but then you gotta be that person. You have to be someone who's interesting, nice, engaging, charismatic, and prove you don't kill. And trying to prove you don't kill make you look like a killer every time. All right? Please believe me, the most murdery looking people are the people who are trying to convince you they don't kill. Imagine somebody ask you, hey, do you want to do something later and it's safe? Why would you say that? Why would you even bring it up? That's crazy. But it's also kind of crazy not to bring it up. It's like a real tightrope to walk. I thought I was doing well. I thought I was doing so good because I would hear, I have so many different, you know, friends out here dating, men and women. I hear all the stories, and so I was aware. I was like, sometimes when women go out with a guy for the first time, they don't really know him. They met him on an app or something. They end up like sharing their location with their friends, you know, or they end up texting like, "Hey, this is where I'm." So I was on the date. Date was just starting. I was like, "Hey, do you want to text your friends where we're going?" Like, just to let her know I wouldn't be offended. But then as soon as I said it, I was like, that sounds like we going to the woods. That's, God damn. And then I'm like, you know, I'm not crazy or anything, which, why would you say that? It's still bad. Did y'all, by the way, have y'all been in this whole Jonah Hill thing that's been trending? Yeah, a little bit. Some shaking heads. All right. So if you don't know about it, I'm going to try to sum it up in 2 sentences. Basically, Jonah Hill's ex-girlfriend has put out in her story their old texts to each other. And it's a lot of him being like, why you got to be around men? It's a lot of just like, why you, she's a surfer, and it's like, why you gotta surf with men? And it's like nonstop. And he's clearly in lots of the text having like some sort of moment where he's like very scared she gonna cheat or something. But it's like, the texts don't make sense. Like, she may have cherry picked some text to make him look extra bad, but he still texts what he texts. So then it's just him texting like, why you gotta surf, and he surfing, and y'all might surf on each other, all right? And then if y'all surfing on each other, you might get surf in your mouth, and then you come home and you just covered in surf, and it's like, you can't be surfing without me, bitch. Like, it was just, when you read them, you're like, oh no, this is not good, you know? And there's been a lot of backlash and everything. I just think that Jonah Hill committed the cardinal sin of telling a woman what to do when he's not that good looking. Like, that's kind of all he did, really. When you think about it, when you read all the text, if that had been John Hamm and he was like, I don't really want you around other dudes, you'd be like, okay, daddy, all right. Like, just throwing it out there. Maybe, you know? Because it's hard. It's so difficult. Building a relationship now is still it's always been difficult, but now we live in a more convenient era of civilization. It used to be maintaining some sort of relationship and just surviving were like the two hardest things to do. It was like keep your spouse happy and don't get malaria was like the two hardest things to do. And then we evolved and we evolved and we evolved. But now interpersonal relationships are as difficult as they've ever been, but everything else is easier, which actually makes them more difficult. Because our life is so convenient now that as soon as someone is an inconvenience, you're like, well, why would I even deal with you? Then you're done. And nobody's happy. It's hard. I think the thing that makes being with someone harder than it's ever been is definitely podcasts. It is. And it goes both ways. It truly does. All these podcasts are, it's like, don't listen to anybody, bitch. You're a fucking queen, okay? And if he tells you that you drink too much, he doesn't fucking party enough, all right? Don't let him fucking stop you from living your life and being the boss babe that you were born to be in your soul. You are a fucking Sagittarius, bitch. You cannot be stopped, all right? Live your fucking life. You walk on air and angel dust, okay? And then on the other side, you have bruh, a girlfriend? You gonna get a girlfriend? You gonna get a girlfriend and talk about she trying to improve your life? She's trying to change you, dog. She's trying to get you to eat vegetables? Bruh, she get you eating vegetables? Are you serious? She get you eating vegetables out here? Pause, dog, all right? Try to get you to eat vegetables. Everybody know vegetables gay. If vegetables ain't gay, why they all shaped like dick? All right? Think about that. Zucchini, all right? Cucumber, that's a hard one. All right? But that's what it is. It's just people, huge influencers, people with huge followings telling people don't
communicate with anyone. Don't settle with anyone. Everyone is against you. They're all trying to get one over on you, and it's coming from everywhere. So then, yeah, you listen to that shit going to work every day. You're gonna be pretty hard on a first date. You know, makes it tough. And it's a shame. I don't know what to do with that information. Just anytime somebody start telling me about a podcast, I just start screaming. You know, it'll break my heart too. It'll be the smartest person you know. Be like, you know, he had some good points. It's like, I lost my friend. God damn, what a fucking shame.
When I was growing up, I had a friend who was like a latchkey kid, and he would get off the bus, and he had 2 hours to himself before his parents came home. So he'd get off the bus, he'd open the door in the house, he had full reign of the house. And we're still little, but he's like old enough to, you know, go ahead and make himself a grilled cheese if he wants something, anything, just till his parents get home. And one day he comes home, and his parents had a get together the night before, and he sees laid out just a little bit left of some wine. And he's like, oh wow, I know that this is grown-up juice, but I want to try it because I'm not supposed to have it, because I know I'm not supposed to have it, right? And so picks it up, and he's weighing the options in his head. He's like, I could try it, but what if I get caught? I'd be in so much trouble. Oh, but I really want it. Maybe nobody will know. And he's going over and over it in his head to the point where he decides, I'm gonna just have a little sip. And he's bringing it to his lips, and then he ends up slipping it out of his hand, drops it, stains the carpet, right? So now he's freaking out because it's like, oh no, they'll know there wasn't a stain there when they left. This is all on me. And he did what a lot of kids would do in that scenario. He made it worse. He was like, the only thing, and I can understand he's a kid, but this is a mistake that I don't think I would have made. The best thing for him to do in that moment, he thought, was to make a bigger mess. And then that way, the stain won't be so bad. So he grabbed a rock and he threw it through the window. Which was a huge mistake because he went outside to get the rock and then threw it from inside outside. He realized what he had done as soon as he did it, so then he had to go back outside, grab the rock, carefully pick up all the glass, bring it back inside, lay out the glass next to the rock, next to the stain, you know? And then his parents get home, and when they come home, immediately they're like, oh my gosh, what happened? What happened? And you know, he's had an hour 20 to think up a story, you know? So he's over here like, yeah, oh, yeah, it was crazy. They're like, what happened? You know, you got the rock going through the windows, all this glass on the floor and the stain. He's like, well, the stain's probably not as big of a deal as the broken window when you really think about it, right? And they're like, what happened? And he says, well, you know, the rock came through the window and it must have hit the glass that had the wine in it, the wine that really shouldn't have been left out. You know, that's an adult beverage. I'm a minor. And then it must have hit the perfect angle to hit that glass and this glass and then knock over and then make a stain on our beautiful 3-bedroom carpet. Yeah. And his parents were like, but did you see it happen? Like, how did this happen? Did somebody throw this? And he's like, uh-oh, because he didn't think that far. And so he was like, yeah, the man threw it. And they were like, what man? And now he's in deep because he's like, yeah, what man? What am I doing? And so he's like, yeah, there was a man that, you know, threw the rock through the window and everything. You saw him? Yeah, I saw him. He threw it and you know, he ran and everything. And he thought maybe that would be the end of it. But from his parents' perspective, there was someone who threw a rock into the window, maybe to get inside while their son was home. So they had more and more questions, and he didn't know what to do. He was freaking out, you know? Next thing he knows, the police have been called, and the police come over, and they're like, what did the man look like? And they over here taking notes and stuff, and he's like, he doesn't know what to say next because he didn't think this far. And that's how I feel like Trump must feel about Epstein, because It goes so deep. It's like he didn't think this far in the lies. Like he just didn't account for it. He thought he could make it quiet, you know? It's not going to be pitched as a direct and absolutely direct order from Trump, what the DOJ did, but the DOJ came out after interviews saying, oh, there's so much information, we're just trying to figure out how to put it out there in a way that's clear. Oh, there's so many files, there's a list of names, there's logs, there's a client list. After saying all this stuff in the media, the DOJ comes out and says, actually, the investigation is closed. We're not going to be prosecuting anybody else, and I think we got to the bottom of it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That's not going to stand at all. That's not going to stand with anybody, because you got to remember who Trump garnered with this belief that he released the Epstein files. He's got MAGA, sure, but he also has Q. Nobody talks about Q anymore, but they're still around. And they believe deeply that Donald Trump is going to be the one to unleash all of the truth. All the evidence will come out when Trump is president. He'll turn over everything on the powerful cabal that has been victimizing people across the world. And then he's like, hey, yeah, no. And I think he thought that he could really bury it, that he could truly bury it. But he's wrong. He's wrong because there are a lot of things that he didn't account for. There are people that Trump controls. There are people who he orders around, and there are people who blindly follow him, sure. But he didn't count on things like Jeffrey Epstein talking before he died to a biographer for like 100 hours, like just a ridiculous amount of time. I have friends I don't think I've spoken to for 100 hours. 100 hours, you probably say a lot of nothing, and you probably say some pretty interesting stuff. Those 100 hours of conversation is how we know that Trump and Epstein were tight for years. Well, even Epstein said he knows some of the inner workings of the White House because him and Trump would just chop it up. You know what I mean? That's heavy. That's a lot to try to sidestep. And Trump's been making mistakes this whole time. Even when Epstein died, right? Epstein dies. He was in jail and he passed. Who can say how? And, Ghislaine Maxwell gets, charged, has a whole trial, gets convicted, sentenced to 20 years in prison. And apparently what we're hearing now is that at the time, Trump floated pardoning her. And the people that heard that almost couldn't believe it. Why would he pardon her? That's crazy. And it's like, actually, it's not that crazy when you see the picture of all them hanging out, like, in the 90s, and they met in the 80s, and they used to fly around together. Like, that's his buddy. And he even said himself, these are his words out of his mouth, when asked about Ghislaine Maxwell during the trial, he said, I wish her well. Somebody that's on trial for trafficking. Somebody with ties to you. I wish her well. And then people were like, why would you wish her well? And then they brought it up again, and Trump was like, I wish lots of people well. And we were like, no, you don't. I've been watching you the whole time. I don't think you wish anybody well that I've seen. All you come up with is nicknames. Man floated, pardoning her. That's crazy. And then the DOJ comes out, hey, yeah, this is done. Nothing else to see here. And people were having a hard time wrapping their heads around that. people who usually stump for Trump hard. No matter what he says, they manage to twist it in a way that maybe could make sense to you, and they'll say that that's what he means. One of the reasons that Trump can do everything that he does and it comes off a different way to everybody is because so many people think that they're the Trump whisperer. Trump will say something out of nowhere, and then there'll be people like, well, what he actually meant was something more reasonable that I'm going to say right now. And I'll be like, that's interesting, because he didn't say any of those words in that order when he was speaking. And I think he had a teleprompter, so I don't see how that's possible. And so everybody thinks that they can be the Trump whisperer, and it's just not working this time. You see people trying to come up with why Trump, why the FBI, why the Attorney General would all of a sudden, what feels like out of nowhere, try to shut this whole thing down, right? Alex Jones, of all people, saw what the DOJ did, and he made a video crying. I think it's very important. When, when a man shows emotion, not to just ridicule him for it because it's easy. But Alex Jones cries weird. Alex Jones cry weirder than anybody I've ever seen in my life. I don't wish anything good for Alex Jones, but to see him cry felt like something happened to me too. Like, it's, Alex Jones is up here like, folks. Like his eyelids were doing sit-ups, crying. I'm sick to my stomach, and I just can't believe this thing is happening. Wipe your face, dog. Like, and even Alex Jones trying to come up with something. He's like maybe the deep state got to him, and the deep state is like in his body, and that's why he's doing this stuff right now. And then he'll be back to normal after he has one of my protein shakes. You can go to my website and buy frog protein for $19.99. No, it was crazy. Because Alex Jones, you gotta remember, this dude is a proper conspiracy theorist. Old school. There's something deeper behind everything at all times. And I'm not talking about like chemtrails. I'm not talking about like government operations. There's something deeper behind everything that happens all the time. Hillary Clinton went on The Tonight Show. Pretty sure this was on The Tonight Show, and she was trying to open a jar of pickles, right? I don't remember what the bit was, but that's what was happening. And Alex Jones pulled it up, and right after she opened the jar, he was like, you see? Do you see what happened right there? Hillary Clinton didn't open that jar. Now, in the video, she has opened the jar. Hillary Clinton didn't open that jar. That jar was pre-opened. All right, you can tell because there was no pop. There's supposed to be a pop. There's supposed to be a. There was no. I brought the same jar. I'm gonna open for him right now. And this man spends a while trying to open the jar. He spends an uncomfortable amount of time trying to open the jar. I think at one point he even had a rag too. You know, like those kitchen tricks you use? He over here, you know, sometimes you like tap the top of it, you like. And he's like, I can't even open it right now, folks. That's how you know this thing right here, she didn't open that jar. So imagine Alex Jones on Epstein. No. I just think about the way that MAGA has been reacting, because it is a full-on revolt. Truly, it's a thing that they cannot fathom is happening. whether it's Q, whether it's MAGA, or whether it's just people who have been following the Epstein case from the beginning. Because you got to remember what Epstein stands for. He is the ultimate boogeyman. He is the ultimate beacon for people that believe that all the elites are in on something together. And it's easy to make him that because he had an island, billionaires were flying around, people went to him for tax advice and for law advice. He was this financier, even though I don't think he had a law degree and he wasn't a CPA. So it's like, what are you doing with people's taxes that you helping? And so this dude, he represents a lot. He stands for a lot in conspiracy theory world and in just the regular world. This is someone who has ties to billionaires, to royalty, who come to him for horrific acts. And now you're telling us, there's nothing else to see here. There's nothing else to see between, me and him especially. There's nothing. Don't look. Stop. 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 And so then Trump, for his part, is watching this whole thing go down, and he's watching people argue about it in front of him, people who are, in his administration and on his side, argue about the best way to handle it, going back and forth. Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, all names that sound like they're about to be called down on The Price is Right. All three of them are constantly going at it because then, Bongino is upset with Pam because he thinks that Pam overpromised and underdelivered and everything. Why would you even say that this stuff was coming unless you had a plan? You were just talking in front of the camera. And then Pam is going back at him, and Trump's watching this whole thing. And then in a press conference, they even asked him, they actually asked Pam Bondi a question about the tapes and the DOJ's memo and everything. And Pam Bondi was ready to answer. She was about to speak, and Trump interrupted her. He was like, hey, look, are we still talking about this guy? What? Why? Years? Why? Everybody's talking about this dude. What's the point? You know what I mean? It's just, I'm sick of this for you, Pam. You don't even feel like answering, do you? And Pam didn't catch. She wasn't quick enough. She was like, no, I don't mind answering. And I know Trump had to be sick when that happened. It's like, no, go ahead and answer then. And Pam Bondi talked about how they had released a lot of stuff, because there's a difference between releasing evidence around a case or releasing vital information or declassifying things and then releasing stuff, right? So they released a bunch of stuff to look like they were releasing something. They released the videotape of the night that Epstein got up out of here. And the problem with the tape is that it's always been talked about as if there was a tape of his cell that would prove definitively that nothing untoward happened, right? But the tape isn't of Jeffrey Epstein's cell with him sitting there and everything. It's of a hallway. And you're giving a tape to conspiracy theorists. They're gonna do some extra looking. There's 10 hours of tape. But there is 61 seconds missing. I don't know how long it takes to kill somebody. But if there's 61 seconds missing, I'm assuming that it takes 50 seconds and gives you 11 seconds to get down the hall. And I'm not even saying that's what happened, by the way. I'm just saying 61 seconds, that's weird. And they asked Pam Bondi about it. And Pam Bondi is like, look, it's a very old system from the 90s where the tape resets at midnight. So it takes a second to reset, and that's why 61 seconds are missing. And I had a lot of questions. I had a ton of questions. One, my first question didn't even concern Epstein. My first question was, why are you telling everybody that? Because That is very valuable information if you're a prisoner in that. Because you know what they play in prison, the news. You probably sit there in Gen Pop like, wait, it what? Every day? I gotta go take care of something. So she says, look, this is the way that system works. So we're actually gonna be supplying more video footage to show that there's a minute missing every night. And I was like, why would you say that? The people in prison can hear you. But also, that's a pretty bad system. You're supposed to be watching somebody and it takes a minute to blink. That's pretty wild. That it's just gonna be missing every day, and you're telling us that like it's not an issue at all. Felt crazy to me. And then they release the video, and then people go digging, they go looking, and one of the things they find is that the video has been doctored. Somebody at some point read the video through Adobe Premiere and did something. And I'm not saying, look. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Adobe Premiere, all right? All I'm saying is I would have thought the government, with all their resources, you know what I mean? Like the government would have like a special program. That just feel pretty cheap to make an Adobe Cloud account that you run this Epstein tape through. Like nobody's gonna know, so then people are wondering about the missing minute. They're wondering about how this video has been tampered with. And then even people who watch the full 10 hours of the video, because you gotta remember, some of these people are dedicated. They're like, there's actually a guard that leaves one way and never comes back, which proves that there's two ways to enter that hallway. And I was like, oh man, he's so screwed. Trump, he's very good at creating a distraction, and he tries. He did his best. He said that he was gonna revoke Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. On any other day in American history, that would be a headline. Any other day, that'd be wild. And look, Rosie O'Donnell and Donald Trump have what I think is now like a 20-year feud going on, which is absolutely insane. The President of the United States has the ultimate and deepest beef. His arch nemesis is the actress from Harriet the Spy. That is mind-boggling. The leader of the free world is ready to have it out at any given moment with the voice actress from the main gorilla in the Disney movie Tarzan. The man with his fingers on the button for the nukes has a deep hatred in his heart, decades long, for Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award winner Rosie O'Donnell. This is an unacceptable timeline. That is crazy. I don't even know what Rosie O'Donnell did that day. Like, I don't know what even brought it up. But he says, I'm thinking about revoking Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. If Ireland wants to keep her, they could have her. And any other day, this would be the story. He knows that. Who knows? Look, I'm of two minds about this thing because it is clearly a distraction, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But I'm of two minds about this thing because, one, obviously, there's a world where he's just like saying stuff to say stuff to like swiftly like move the news cycle in another direction, and he may not do anything. But the fact, as a sitting president, that he would even muster up the corner of his thumbs to put that into a phone to go out to the world is so deeply insane. Because this thing that he's doing now is not just a step too far, it's the entire field too far. Rosie O'Donnell is an American citizen, a citizen. And so if he can do that, then truly, 100%, without a doubt now, nobody is safe. What started this whole immigration, fear-mongering, you gotta remember, because you have to understand, as a platform, people have been running on it as long as there have been, green cards and immigration programs. Oh, is it a little too much? Oh, we don't like what it's doing to the landscape of our neighborhood and everything. And people have won votes on it. That's nothing new. But what's turned is the way that people are openly nasty and disgusting about it. There's always been racism in it. It's mainly what it is. Because if you really cared about people coming over the right way, the legal way, then you would make the right way and the legal way clear, and you wouldn't kidnap people at their green card interviews, and you wouldn't have mass people picking people up after baseball practice, okay? If that's what you cared about. And you also, you've structured this thing to make these people seem like monsters. That's been the plan this entire time, because if somebody is a monster, it is part of the human condition and a flaw that we have. As long as we see somebody as a monster, whether they are or not, we don't really care what happens to them. It's why they can make conditions in prison so bad, because the assumption is, well, everybody that's there deserves to be there, so screw them. Right? If they don't have clean water, or if they can't shower, or if their food's contaminated, good. Because they did something bad to earn that place, right? And it helps you strip the basic humanity of looking at another person, whether they've made a mistake or not, or looking at another person, whether from a different country or not. And if you get really good at stripping that humanity away, you can do whatever you want, and then you start to be able to do whatever you want to anybody that you want. And that's what's been creeping up this entire time. What started as guys, they're eating the dogs. Remember, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, and nobody's pets are safe. It was getting so dumb. It was past these are criminals and they're killing us and they're coming over here to do terrible things. And then it started to morph a little bit more. Okay, look, I know that they're going through the proper channels and everything, but they have a misdemeanor in another country. Do we really want somebody like that to become a citizen? Maybe we should deport them now. No, I understand that they have their green card, but they also, I don't know, they have this weird past I don't like, or they wrote an op-ed I didn't like, or they said a thing that I didn't like. So do we really want someone like that in our country? I know that they are a fully naturalized citizen, but the way that they became a citizen is a little bit under suspect, because I said so just now. So maybe we'll deport them. And now we're all the way to the point that American citizens that I do not like can be gone. And so you see, when you let somebody's humanity get stripped away over and over and over again, and it's in the back of your head, and you even go with the lie, they probably did something, or maybe they shouldn't have done that thing, or maybe they have a good reason. When you do that enough and it finally comes for you, don't be surprised. Because the thing with the Rosie O'Donnell, it's there's a part of it that I think is nothing. I'm not saying that thing is absolutely going to happen. I'm just also saying that the fact that he even fixed his fingers to put it out is a problem. And normally, on any other day, it would have been such a problem that it's what everyone on the news would have been talking about. But this was a different day. This was a day where Dan Bongino is so upset he doesn't even report into work. He's tired of arguing with Pam Bondi. He might resign. Other people are talking about resigning. This Epstein thing isn't going away. And so then Donald Trump did what he does best, what he does in a crisis, and what he does when it counts. He made it worse. Like a kid throwing a rock through his own window. He makes it so much worse. And now Trump is dealing with that fallout. There are people calling for Pam Bondi to resign. There are people that are asking Trump extra questions. And then Trump crashes out spectacularly while y'all were probably parking. And so I'm gonna do this real quick. I don't like to use my phone or bring my phone out often, but I have to read you what Trump posted. And admittedly, look, I'm gonna read every word that he posted, all right? But I will be doing it the way that I read it in my head. This is insane. What's going on, my boys? Boys in quotations. Oh no, what's going on with my boys? Boys in quotations. And in some cases, gals? Also in quotations. Are you asking us a question about what's going on with them, or are you confused about the gals specifically? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job, all caps. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect, all caps, administration, the talk of the world, all caps, and selfish people, in quotes, are trying to hurt it, all over a guy who never dies. What? I'm not saying that Trump killed Epstein. I'm not saying that at all. I'm like specifically not saying that. I need you to understand that I am explicitly not saying that Trump killed Epstein. I'm just saying that if I was like driving in my car and I hit somebody and I somehow got away with it, but I saw them every time I closed my eyes, I'd be like, this guy never dies. All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. This is a man who hasn't slept. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama? You know what's so good about files written by Obama is that Trump was sitting there knowing he know Epstein. Trump knows Epstein so well. They were friends. Trump lived so close to Epstein in Florida that Epstein had to knock on his door and let him know he was on the sex offender registry. Like, that's how close they lived together. He knocked on the door, was like, hi, the court has ordered me to notify you that I'm in the area. I have been convicted of a few crimes, and I left my suit jacket over here last night, so that's crazy. By Obama, and it's a list. It's why are we giving publicity to files? You know what it also is this man was sitting here knowing that he knows Epstein. He's sitting here knowing that this looks very bad. And he did the DOJ thing, even though it's not directly tied to him, even though the president isn't allowed to interfere. He clearly did the DOJ thing where he told them to shut it down. And now people are rebelling against him. And he's sitting there like, how can I make it DEI? Obama. Thanks, Obama. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration? So I guess they were all in a room in this scenario, and they wrote the files together in tandem. Like, Obama just knew that everyone in the Biden administration would be in the Biden administration one day, so he gathered them all together. But this is also before Epstein ever died or anything, so Obama time traveled to like right after to know it would hurt Trump, so then he came back in regular time and he sat down Hillary Clinton, Comey, Brennan, And he had to get all the losers and criminals of the Biden administration in one room so they could write. Also, wrote the files? Isn't it a bunch of documents? And the losers and criminals of the Biden administration, I do like that he said there are criminals in the Biden administration, but there are some people who aren't criminals. They're just losers. But I want to make sure I address them too. You're not safe. You're not safe just because you're not a criminal if you're a loser as well, all right? In fact, you're a loser because you're not a criminal, all right? I have 34 felony convictions, and I'm the president, okay? You out here not even a criminal. You can't even criminal good. Loser. And the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with Russia, Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, intelligence is in quotes, the laptop from hell. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I really don't know what that is. I don't know if that's like Hunter Biden's laptop or a laptop with Hillary's emails on it, or if he just had a bad experience with an HP laptop. But like, that is also in all caps. The laptop from hell and more, question mark. They created the Epstein files just like they created the fake, all caps, Hillary Clinton, Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me. And now my so-called friends, this man hurt because my so-called friends, as a world leader, my so-called friends is the most Regina George Mean Girls line I've ever heard in my entire life. My so-called friends is wild. Foreign diplomats, world leaders had a dinner that Trump was at, and they made fun. This isn't first term. They made fun of him at the dinner. He could probably hear him in the background. They were laughing. It was like Boris Johnson and Justin Trudeau and other people, and they were over here doing him. They were over here like just making fun of him hard, cracking up, talking about how he doesn't know how to spell, everything. They were getting him good. They were roasting him. And then this man comes back to the U.S. and I'm pretty sure it was Fox News that played the tape that somebody got of them making fun of him, not with a bunch of audio, and his head was down a little bit. You could tell his feelings were hurt, for real. And he was looking down and everything. And he just said, yeah, I didn't know that, like, they were, like fake like that or anything. Even in that moment, he didn't say my so-called friends. My so-called friends is insane. And now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? And this is good. This is clever. He's doing what he does. This is the Republican talking point that's going to go around. Look for it over and over and over again. Well, why didn't Biden release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could hurt Trump, that could derail MAGA, why didn't he release it? All right, that's the most I know you are, but what am I logic I've ever heard in my life? Because you're the president now, so you could release them. I know that Biden didn't release them, but you could release them. You could. You could release them if you wanted. You could, like you could. You could, like I dare you. I was just saying, like I dare you. I bet you won't. I bet you're too scared. I bet you won't. But you could. I know Biden did, but you're the president now, and I thought you were a better president, so you could. You could do anything that Biden didn't do. You said that. You were like, there's a bunch of things Biden can't do that I can do, that only I can do, and one of those things is release the Epstein files. Like, do it. I bet you won't do it, though, because you're scared. No, it's just funny, man. This man, he's going through it. Why didn't they use it? They haven't even given up on the John F. Kennedy or the MLK Jr. files, which is a terrible idea to bring up different conspiracy-laden things while you talk about there not being a conspiracy. That's crazy. That's a terrible move. This man is derailing. No matter how much success we have had securing the border, deporting criminals, fixing the economy, energy dominance, a safer world where Iran will not have nuclear weapons, it's never enough for some people. This man is spiraling. It's never enough for some people is not what a president says. It's never enough for some people is not how you speak as a president. That's how you speak as a dad who just finished a 16-hour shift and somebody tells you to take out the trash. It's never enough for you people. Every day, I've been awake for 24 hours. It's my birthday. Yeah, thanks for the time. It's never enough for some people. We are about to achieve more in 6 months than any other administration has achieved in over 100 years. And that's true. That's true. We're all going to die. And we have so much more to do. We are saving our country and making America great again, all caps, which will continue to be our complete priority, all caps. The left is imploding. Kash Patel and the FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud, political corruption, Act Blue, the rigged and stolen election of 2020, and arresting thugs and criminals instead of spending month after month looking at nothing but the same old radical left-inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. Let Pam Bondi do her job, all caps. She's great, all caps. The 2020 election was rigged and stolen, and they tried to do the same thing in 2024. That's what she's looking into as AG, and much more. 1 year ago, our country was dead, all caps. Now it's the hottest, all caps, country anywhere in the world. Let's keep it that way and not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. Thank you for your attention to this matter. There's a thing I read about a long time ago. There was this leader named Father Yod, and Father Yod was the head of the Source family. The Source family was this collection of people. Some people called them a cult and everything, but they mostly kept to themselves. Like, they ran like a vegan restaurant, I think, and they just minded their own business. But one of the most interesting things about Father Yod was Father Yod told them early on, before it was ever even really a cult, before there were even a lot of members, I'm God, and don't go to a hospital. That was his thing. And that happens in a lot of cults, by the way. Don't go to the hospital because hospitals are full of experts who can provide answers that I can't. So if I can cut you off from other experts, if I can cut you off from people reasoning in a way that is just direct with logic, I've already started to bring you into the fold in a way that you'll never leave. And so Father Yod would tell them, don't go to a hospital, right? And so they didn't. Members of the Source family would not go to a hospital. And they did what I would say was generally well for a cult as far as length. A lot of cults fall apart in those first few years. You know what I mean? First year, everything sort of starts out good. Everybody's just having a good time, making friends, living in a commune and everything. And then year two, somebody try to get you to drink something or do something. Just people start coming for your mouth, you know what I mean? And all sorts of ways that get uncomfortable, and that's usually when the cult falls apart, because there are people that are like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to drink that. Oh, that's weird. No, I'm going to go, right? And then that's when leaders sort of crumble and start having power grabs, and they get paranoid and everything. This didn't really happen, at least from what I read, to the Source family, Father Yod, and they stayed together long enough that there were members of the community that started coupling and even having children. And it got to the point where they were about to have the first baby born into the Source family, but they can't go to a hospital. They can't go to a hospital, and something feels wrong. And no one can really describe what it is, but basically this member starts going into labor in real time. So everybody is looking over to Father Yod. You know, you said you were God. You told us not to go to the hospital. I think you have to deliver this baby. And so this man does it. He delivered the baby, but when the baby came out, it wasn't making any noise. And it wasn't moving at all. And People started crying. Everyone was devastated. There was so much joy around having a new person in the family. And Father Yote, he did something. I don't know what he did, but the members described it as him just clearing the airway gently a little bit, and out of nowhere, after all that silence, after no movement, the baby cried and it started moving. And if he thought he had followers then, if he thought that they were believers then, we don't need a hospital. And it got to the point where one day Father Yote was like, you know what, I'm done with this whole like earthly thing. I'm tired of healing y'all and everything. Everybody coming up to me all the time, I got a cold. And because that's what he would do. People would like have a cold and then he'd be like, blah, 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 and then they would still have a cold and they just get over it in 2 weeks because it was a cold, right? But then when they finally got over the cold, he'd walk by and be like, did it? And it's like, all right, well. And so there's one day Father Yote said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take a vacation. Get away from y'all for a little bit. I'll come back, but I'm gonna take a vacation. I'm gonna take it in heaven. And so he got on a 1,300-foot cliff with a glider. Because I guess he thought he was gonna glide up enough to just like get to heaven's front door or something. Like this man is truly like lost to the sauce, right? He'd been leading the cult too long. He believed him now. I wish I had half the confidence. Because that's so crazy to think you're just gonna fly up to heaven and stay up there, but you also need a glider. Do you know what I mean? Like at least people on ecstasy think they gonna just fly immediately, you know? This dude gets on the glider, takes off, and never did this before in his life. Wasn't trained or anything. And so he jumps off the cliff in the glider and he goes perfectly down. He goes straight down. This man, a bow, right? And so the followers like, oh, he went the wrong way. And then they come down the cliff and everything, and they come to get him. He laid out. I can't even do it. He laid out. He laid out like, but not like busted up. He's not dead. He's laid out like this. And didn't have any, to what I read at least, he didn't have any significant, any substantial like bruising or markups on his body. Another miracle, you would think. Turns out everything stayed intact, but his guts were all upside down. Like this man stayed perfectly in his body, but his lungs were in his feet. Like and so they run up on him, and he over here laid out like, I can't even do it right. Like he laid out like, when they find him, glider crash, he laid out like this. And they run up there like, Father, Father. And he's like, get me to a hospital. Get me to a hospital. Now. And the followers are like, what? And he's like, yeah, the one on 32 Roscoe, please hurry up and get me to a hospital. And there's different accounts of this. I'm sure that there's followers that say he never asked for a hospital. I'm sure there's followers that say he asked for a hospital immediately. But this dude is like, get me to a hospital. And then the followers are like, what? Why though? Like, you said never go to a hospital. You said that that's not real science in there. You said that you get sicker if you go to a hospital. We can't take you to a hospital. And he said, get me to a hospital. I'm serious. Oh, I feel something upside down. You know what it probably sounded like? I mean, I'm not there. We don't have the footage or anything. But I imagine if you fall 1,300 feet down, you probably sound like that grape lady. Remember that grape lady that was crushing the grapes? Then she fell, and then she went, arr, 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 arr. Off camera. We didn't see her. Because I'm sure when he said, get me to a hospital, they really didn't understand what he was saying at first, because he was like, get me to a, I think my spine behind my balls, get me to a hospital. But then my man looked intact. So they're like, no, he doesn't need a hospital, he just needs rest. And then he died 9 hours later. And so when I see the way that like MAGA is turning on Trump, it just feels so much like, well, why would you? Wait. Why would he lie? He really doesn't understand. Trump truly doesn't understand why this thing won't go away. And it's because he doesn't understand people, you know? Whether it's, you know, the MAGA base, whether it's Q, whether it's anybody online, anybody interested or concerned about anything to do with Epstein, all those people are people. So if you lead people on and you lie to people, they have a reaction. You can't just get something and give nothing in return. And people won't let it go, and they won't give up on it, because this man is real. He really existed. And he really destroyed a lot of lives. And for all of our faults as humans, we care about that. And so no, we're not just gonna let it go. It's not like some passing fad of a thing. I think it is to him, because he just uses what he needs while he needs it to get what he wants. And once he has it, he throws it or the person who gave it to him away. And it's something that some people are finding out right now, that he'll betray you on a dime. Nothing matters to him. Because if this thing doesn't matter to him, then nothing matters to him at all. There's no way around it. People care because vulnerable people were victimized for a very long time. And whatever part you had to do with that, it can't be covered up, because there's nothing that screams, I'm in the Epstein files, like, stop looking for the Epstein files. One thing that I thought was incredible, one thing that put a smile on my face, was when Rosie O'Donnell responded to Donald Trump talking about revoking her citizenship. And I know I don't like to pull out my phone, but I want to read you what she said. You can actually look. You can actually. This is on her Instagram, so you can actually look this up for yourself. I'm not kidding. This is crazy. So first thing she does is post a picture of Trump and Epstein together, which is genuinely hilarious. And is Rosie O'Donnell posted in the caption, "Hey Donald, you rattled again?" 18 years later, I still live rent-free in that collapsing brain of yours. I'm gonna be honest with you right now. I watch the news all the time. I watch people try to defend Trump. I watch people attack Trump, and I'm chronically online. So I watch people insult Trump all day long, and I have never come across collapsing brain. Collapsing brain would actually explain everything. It would explain the made-up words. It would explain the spelling. You call me a threat to humanity, but But I'm everything you fear. A loud woman, a queer woman, a mother who tells the truth, an American who got out of the country before you set it ablaze. You built walls, I built a life. I'm an autistic kid in a country where decency still exists. You crave loyalty. I teach my children to question power. You sell fear on golf courses. I make art about surviving trauma. You lie, you steal, you degrade. I nurture, I create, I persist. You are everything that is wrong with America, and I am everything you hate about what's still right with it. You want to revoke my citizenship? Go ahead and try. King Joffrey with a tangerine spray tan. Jeez. I'm not yours to silence. I never was. And then it's the Irish flag signed Rosie. And if I'm being honest, I just never expected. Like, I never expected the President of the United States to be so effectively eviscerated by one of the supporting actresses from A League of Their Own. Like, it just feels wild that this is life. Philly, y'all been phenomenal. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I hope you had a fantastic time. I had so much fun with you. Thank you for an incredible weekend at the Fillmore. Thank you for 8 sold-out shows. I appreciate you so much.